What's going on, YouTube? And welcome to the Roundtable, where all things are Detroit Lions. And this is your host for tonight's Roundtable, Mr. Micro Mike. And we have news, rumors, and guess what? More damn news. And we have a packed show for you all tonight. Before we get into the show, you know what I got to do? It's called the intros. And it is time to do that. First, Noah was the only man notified before the next member on this panel relieved himself. What up, Dojamo?
Man, at least I know Noah, man. I know celebrities out here, man. What's good, y'all?
And next is the man who does not daydream because he is too busy giving people nightmares. What up, Luke G?
Man, what it do, man? Hey, I'm out here like Freddy Krueger. You feel me?
And lastly, and surely not least, he is a new guy to join the panel tonight. He is a newer YouTuber. You got to subscribe to his channel. But he is the man who puts sunglasses on to protect the sun from his eyes. What up, Jim?
Hey, what's up, guys? My future's so bright, man.
Hey, that's what it's all. Your future's so bright. Damn, that was a good one. Good pun there. Hey, JMO, can you do me a massive favor and do some roll call for me?
What's good, everybody? What's good, man? We're going to have a great show on this Tuesday night, man. I got Kyle Webb in the building. I got Below Zero in the building. Princess Bree in the building. Bad Starwin in the building. You know, Funky Nuts is always here for us in the building, Pauls. Jeff Ellender in the building. Kool-Aid and Cornbread, as I said, my favorite name, is in the building. What's good, everybody? We got Adam Bockhart in the building. Devin99, Abdul Terrell. You Can Hate Me Now, Mackenzie, Terry Starman, Key Eric in the building. Mellow Mo in the building. What's good, everybody?
Hey, and welcome to the Roundtable because we have a lot of news hitting us. But again, before that, if you have not hit that like button, please do so because then we can spread our info to the YouTube world and defeat the legacy media and show them the real people when it comes to Detroit Lions YouTube, as well as I just posted a link in the comment section. That is Lions on the Prowl's link to his channel. Newer YouTuber on the Detroit Lions. So make sure you subscribe to that channel. And let's get into it. Luke G. Right today, just a little bit before we went live, the Jaguars traded A.J. Bouye to the Denver Broncos. Thoughts, and how does that affect our Detroit Lions?
I mean, truthfully, it doesn't really have an effect on us. I think they're going to still try to go out and acquire Byron Jones. But it might be able to help us in this regard where Byron Jones looks at it and says, hey, you know, you went and got this guy. Am I going to be the main staple? So I think it helps by shortening the Broncos salary cap a little bit because they're going to still honor that contract. And I think what it does is it puts us in a position to be able to go after the guy that we want, which is Byron Jones. I know Andrew, which is part of the real Detroit Lions fans, he felt like, man, the Lions could have gave up a fourth-round pick for Bouye, but I'm like, I don't know if I wanted that though. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, you know, we need to evaluate each pick and see what we got in opposition of that. So to me, what this does is it sets us up for a chance to go after Byron Jones, knowing that they just short some of their cap.
Okay. Now, Jim, what is your thoughts about this trade, and do you believe it affects the Lions? And if so, how does it?
Well, for me, I think it affects the Lions a little bit because it's one less place they could trade Darius Slay if they're going to do that. I honestly don't want them to trade Darius Slay. I want them to keep Darius, but that would be one less place that they would trade Darius Slay to now, I would think anyway.
Melamo, I appreciate the $5 super chat. You are the beast, and I appreciate you are the best as well. Again, I will put that towards my channel, and I will be reinvesting that money. So I truly, truly do appreciate that. JMO, with the trade, how do you see it? Was it a good trade? How does it affect the Lions? What do you think?
I mean, it was an okay trade. I don't mind giving up a fourth-round pick for A.J. Bouye. Definitely not. But, I mean, I've been saying this, for a while. I don't think we need cornerbacks as much as people say we do. Now, Byron Jones is great. We can go get him, but we keep Darius Slay on the team. All we need is a solid number 2 cornerback that's actually not going to be garbage. Rashawn Melvin was good early on, but he regressed back to whatever he is, along with not having a pass rush. People covering for too long, but it's good from competition's sake, but I'm just happy in the first place to know we going to get Byron Jones. It lets me know that y'all trying to do something smart, because having him and Slay or him and Okuda, and you still have Amani Oruwariye, who I'm not gonna forget about in any of these situations, but it's just something interesting that the Broncos will go out and get him instead of trying to get Byron Jones.
Okay. Yeah. When I see this is pretty much my indication of what I initially thought when the trade occurred. Denver Broncos were on the market for getting a cornerback because Chris Harris, their free agent cornerback, is a free agent, and they're trying to get him signed possibly back to their team. And to me, this secures the idea that the Lions will pursue him, like I've been saying all offseason, because we try to trade for him, as well as, again, the connections when it comes to Unlin and our new defensive assistant who played with him. And again, it's one less trade partner when it comes to Darius Slay. The Denver Broncos were rumored to want Darius Slay. And so that's one less individual for teams to compete and get. Also, another interesting fact is, man, they did it for a 4th round pick. And to me, the value of Slay went down with this type of trade, because trading him for a 4th, man, I don't think we're going to get much. I don't think we're going to get a 2nd round pick if we're wanting to trade Slay. And to me, if they're really wanting to deal Slay, you would have to probably take less. And that is something I'm not looking forward to. I don't. Go ahead.
No, I was saying it was one of the things that I talked about at the end of the season, where I said, by them failing to trade him now, they've lost value in it. And I kept equating it to like a car that pulls off a car lot. It's not worth the same price that you paid for. And to me, that right there is a window that they're going to look back on and say, man, we could have got this. And I told people when they were like, man, we should get at least a 1st or a 2nd for Slay. And I'm like, no way. no way we getting a 1st or if we get a 1st or a 2nd, you can't fire Bob Quinn if you wanted to. That's impressive. But you're right. I think it lowers the value. If he got a 4th to get him, it's probably going to run about 15, maybe 15.5 million for Byron Jones. Yeah. To me, you got to walk out with something. You can't let it be another guy who leaves and don't get nothing for him. Sue left. You got absolutely nothing for Ndamukong Suh. We can't have this happen again. We could have traded Calvin Johnson, but they were so hell bent on not doing it. We could have got a 5th round pick for Calvin, but I'd have rather took something versus nothing.
Yeah, and this is a big time quandary that Bob Quinn's going to have to deal with. Do you keep Slay and utilize him through the season, knowing the fact that we're probably not going to franchise tag him next year? He'll be free to walk, but it does help your defense better to have him on there. Or do you trade him for probably a 3rd round pick? I think that's probably the best you can get. This is something that he has to contemplate. And this is something that we're going to be paying attention to. Now, go ahead. Someone who's about to speak.
Yeah, but I would say this. I think he has more value in Detroit than we could get to trade him. I don't think it makes any sense to trade him at this point.
I concur with that. If it's going to be like a 4th or a 3rd round pick, to me, I think he has more value on the team. I know, J-Mo, go ahead and speak.
No, I think that's why he's still on the team, because they were shopping him. And I mean, I feel like depending on how desperate the team is, we could get a 2nd round pick. But I think they were shopping him, and maybe they didn't like what they saw, so they just went back to the drawing board with some contract situations. And my whole thing is, are you trying to win football games? Because I mean, Darius Slay, I would probably say universally is probably like the 2nd best player on the team. If you're trying to win games in a win now year, you don't go trading people away that helps you win games. Regardless, I mean, even in a down year, Slay was still very useful to when he wasn't on the field. It mattered. So I'm not gonna trade him if you're trying to win games. Now, if you're trying to rebuild and amass a lot of draft picks, okay. But if you're trying to win football games, I'm not trading him unless you're giving me something nice like a second round pick.
Yeah, I'm with both of you on that. I just think if he was to walk in free agency, you're probably going to get a good compensatory pick next year. So what is the point if you're going to simply trade him this year and get nearly the same value? At least on the current contract that he has, it's obtainable to get another cornerback like a Byron Jones if they're wanting to really make a scary secondary. So I'm with you there. If they're going to trade him, you better get something in value back. If not, if they do another Diggs trade, I think it's just going to hurt the franchise, and we're going to receive less W's, and in which that means the odds of Patricia staying is less. So it'll be interesting to see what continues and what goes forward. But also was in the news today, Luke G, was the fact that the Lions in pursuit of Chris Harris from the Denver Broncos. What do you think of Chris Harris, and what do you got to say about that? Should he be an individual we should target?
I mean, I think he should. The only question that becomes is what the contract he's looking to get. Now, I'll be the first to say it. Mike was all over this. Mike was like, look, they're going to look at Chris Harris. There's a connection with the new defensive coordinator and Chris Harris, and he put all that together. So bravo to Mike, man. We need some clapping sound effects in the background for that. But to me, it's about what the contract is going to be. Do I like the player? Yes, I like the player. And do I think he'll be a good bridge player? Yes. I think he's an upgrade from Rashawn Melvin. I'm not sure yet because I know they're going to ask him to do a whole lot of man coverage. I know he's better in his own than Rashawn Melvin, but the rest of it is still questionable.
We got
Robo Luke going on.
We got Robo Luke G going on, so I'm going to throw that to you, JMO. What do you think of Chris Harris? Should we sign him for the right deal, or should we pass?
We should pass. I don't even know why they want Chris Harris. I'm very confused. Why are they so obsessed with Chris Harris? Chris Harris is not an outside corner. I'm gonna say it again. Chris Harris is not an outside corner. You put him out there, he's going to get burnt. He's a slot guy. So if he's a slot guy, we just paid Justin Coleman like $40+ million. He's our slot guy. So you're gonna bring him there to replace Justin Coleman, who already has a big contract. That doesn't make any sense. You putting him on the outside, I am not thrilled about that. I would rather, have Byron Jones, or even he'd probably be a little better than Amani, but I would rather Amani go out there and learn some things and continue to get his interceptions because he's a playmaker. Chris Harris is not. He's more Justin Coleman than, an outside corner like Darius Slay. What I mean by that is Justin Coleman was stellar in the slot. When he went outside, he got torched upon. So some players just have certain positions. I really don't know why we want Chris Harris that bad. He's 31 years old. It wasn't like he was coming off some great season. Maybe they think they can find a way to fit him in this defense. But if you want to put him in the slot, then what's the point of Justin Coleman? I don't know where they're going with that avenue. And I don't want him outside. I just definitely don't. Against the receivers in our division, I'm talking
but wait.
I don't want him outside at all. He's not an outside cornerback.
Yeah, but Diggs is probably on his way out of Minnesota, right? The Packers only got Devontae Adams. Now, who's the top receiver in Chicago?
Mitchell Trubisky.
But the Packers have
So I'm just saying.
It don't matter who the receiver is.
No, it do matter because I'm just saying you got to be able to.
I've seen us get cooked by a dude named Lazard. It don't matter who the receiver is when you got Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but you don't think that Chris Harris on the outside could cover those receivers in the division? The second guy.
No, I don't want Chris Harris on the outside. No.
Oh, okay. I just think he can do it. I think it just depends on what the contract is. If the contract is too expensive, then I'm like, no.
No.
Yeah, to me, it's
he never has been.
To me, it's who is available. Who can you get? Now, I know Byron Jones is another individual that we're pursuing, but before we get to him, I'm going to throw it to you, Jim. Lions on the Prowl. Again, make sure you subscribe to his channel. He's new to YouTube. What do you think about Chris Harris? Would you want the Lions to sign him? How would we fit? Let me your thoughts.
Well, he's on the wrong side of 30. I agree with JMO. I wouldn't want him here. If you can get Byron Jones, and you're going to keep Slay. I mean, why would you get rid of Slay to get Harris? It makes no sense. His production went down last year. Slay is a little younger than him. I know that's crazy, but almost the same age, a little younger. You're looking to ship somebody out and bring somebody in that I don't think is as talented as the guy we're shipping out. And this is what this team seems to do all the time.
Can I play devil's advocate for a little bit? Can I play devil's advocate for a little bit? Come on, Jim. Let me ask you this, Jim. Do you believe in Matt Patricia?
No.
Okay. So if you don't believe in Matt Patricia, wouldn't it make more sense to get some aspiring contracts that you can come in, still get some type of production, let those contracts expire, and then have all the cap you need for whoever going to be the new head coach?
No.
If you're playing it that way, great. But we're looking at Bob Quinn.
Right. Are we trying to win games?
Okay, fair enough. Good point. Good point. Good point.
He's fighting for his job right now.
Give Patricia
right. Very good point.
So we can give the new coach more money when he gets here. You're supposed to put the best talent around Patricia for him to succeed. I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah.
No, listen, I'm totally with you. Y'all made some good points. I was just trying to be the opposite side.
No, that's okay.
You know we all think the same thing about Patricia, but I'm just being nice by saying they telling me we're supposed to be winning games. So if you telling me that you don't get rid of Slay and replace him with Chris Harris, you get Byron Jones and you keep Slay, and then
you go.
Now I'll tell you a situation that would show me that they don't want to win games. If they sign Dion Lewis, not be Chris Harris, no one else. If you sign Dion Lewis, the running back, then I know they don't give a damn about winning games.
God.
Okay, so let's jump to the next cornerback that the Lions are looking to be trying to land, and that's Byron Jones. Great news, though. Denver was one of the teams that was trying to get Byron Jones. Now with the trade, doesn't look like they're going to get him. J-Mo, what do you think of Byron Jones, and do you want him on the team?
I want him on the team. I had to go look at some tape, look at some advanced stats, because he's not a guy that gets a lot of stats or like interceptions, but when you watch him against the top cornerbacks, the percentage of completion against those cornerbacks and how many catches they get, how many touchdowns they get, very, very minuscule. And he was having a great career in Dallas, and I wouldn't say that Dallas defense really supported what he was doing. There was times where, some of the Cowboys fans I talked to thought he was the best defensive player on the team. So if he can do that here, and then he can come around with supposedly would be better talent in theory, because Matt Patricia's defensive schemes can ruin talent apparently. But in theory, I don't care what nobody say. The Lions, we played so bad. This is a side note, but we played so bad last year that the fan base thinks our roster don't have talent. And we do got talent. We just don't know how to use it. That's another conversation. But I'm very, very high on Byron Jones. He's like my second person I want in free agency after Joe Thurney. Derrick Henry is a pipe dream. But I just feel like with the Lions, man, we got to make some power moves if we ever want to be somewhere, because this building every year, it ain't worked for 50 years. So it's time to try something different. Go out and get the best cornerback on the market. Last year we got Flowers, and I think that is going to pay dividends in the future. So I'm very, very high on getting Byron Jones. I think he would help a lot.
Now, subscribers, think about this. If they decide to keep Slay, you have Darius Slay on the outside, Byron Jones on the other side, Coleman in the middle, and then you can use Amani wherever you want. They draft Isaiah Simmons, and they get Gale Moore, the defensive line. That defense is transformed. Oh, yeah, and
if you draft Isaiah Simmons, now you can play 3 safety sets, keep him in the box, have Will Harris and Tracy Walker on the back end, and then you got Jelani Tavai and Devon Kennard right there.
And your defense is transformed
into a pass rusher. Yeah.
And your defense is transformed from worst to much better, and you're going to get turnovers machine. And Mr. Matthew Stafford's probably going to be healthy. So what say you, Jim? What about Byron Jones? Do you think this is a guy that we should swing for the fences for, kind of like we did with Trey Flowers?
Yeah. Yeah, I like J-Mo said, he's not putting up numbers, he's not getting interceptions or stuff. But if you look at his coverage, you know, he kind of shuts down the other wide receiver on the other side. So I think that, I would want him over Harris for sure. For sure. But I'd be keeping Slay. That's just me. I would keep Slay as well.
Byron Jones I want him regardless of what we do with Slay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Regardless of that, I want him on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think that would be a shutdown secondary. And if we can just get some pressure, turnover city, and that's what you need to win football games. Royal Kush 123. Truly appreciate the super chat. Again, like I always say, I will throw that back into my YouTube account and get better quality stuff for you. Right now, I'm looking to get a new microphone, a better green screen, and to upgrade the product so you guys get a better product. So I truly, truly appreciate it. Byron Jones, again, when I think about getting Byron Jones, I think about keeping Darius Slay, not to simply remove one and keep the other, because I'm in a win now mode. I need to win. We need to get talented players on this defense. This defense extremely underperformed last year, and that was a huge reason why we 3-12-1. We need to get that lockdown secondary. We need to have an identity. And I feel like if you can get a lockdown secondary, that could be an identity the Lions can utilize, where teams kind of get a little nervous to decide to throw down that way. And if we can get a defensive line and some pass rush in this draft, this team can turn it around. But you do got to get the right players and the right pieces for it. We can't get the Dion Lewises of the world and think we're going to win games with that. If you're going to go out in free agency, get the best player you can to fill the need that you need, and that's what we need. We don't need Dion Lewis's. We need the Byron Joneses of free agency to help this team win.
Yeah, and my thing with the Lions is I want teams to come when they play the Lions, they don't even think about Matthew Stafford. They're like, oh man, that defense, oh my. Like when we had Sue, I know Luke always brings up how Sue put fear in people's hearts. He definitely did. You came to play the Lions, you was like, oh, snap, Sue. I want them to think about our defense like that, because that's how you become a team that wins in the playoffs consistently. Because you playing San Francisco, what are you thinking about? That defense. Mm-hmm. You playing Minnesota, you're not thinking about Cousins. You think about their receivers and Dalvin Cook and that defense. No matter what the stats say, you still like that defense. You think of the Chiefs, you definitely thinking of Patrick Mahomes. But they didn't do nothing without, that defense in the Super Bowl. So it's all the same. But I want teams to come and be like, yo, that secondary, we're going to have to find a way to work around that.
I'm 100% with you. I would love to just have an identity, and I think defense is the way to go. And if they're wanting to make a strong secondary, let's have that. Man, I don't want to pass on these guys. We can't do this. These guys are going to get turnovers. These guys are really good. I mean, Darius Slay and Byron Jones and Coleman, holy hell. That would be a scary three combo.
Darius Slay has never been paired with. I mean, it's not like elite cornerbacks are paired all around the league, but I mean, he's never been paired with somebody that's considered elite or at least close to it. I mean, you put them together. We really don't know what would happen, because he's never been paired with somebody like that. Like that might be, drastically bigger than any person we draft. Just having that tandem there, because elite cornerback tandems around the league, the few that they are, we all see results.
100%. Ghost Gunner, I appreciate it, man. Another super chat, $5. Again, I will throw it back into my channel, and you are 100% correct. 209 haunts my dreams, but Byron Jones joining the secondary makes up for that. So I will definitely be dreaming of Byron Jones on this defense to have an elite defensive secondary. So I truly appreciate that, man. One pride or don't ride. And we support each other, and I appreciate you supporting us and myself. Now, reports came out today that the Lions are no way drafting Tua Tagovailoa. Can we finally put this thing to bed, Luke? Yes. J-Mo, can we put this to bed?
I was about to say he's gone. You already know me. I put this to bed a month ago. Like, nothing mean about drafting Tua. It's so many things, but this is the main two reasons. This win now season thing. And I'm not overlooking it like other people, because I've literally seen the Lions go 11-5, and the next season Martha Ford fire everybody. I saw her do it before. She ain't playing. I keep telling people she getting old. She know her clock is ticking. If we start off 0-4, 1-3, she gonna fire everybody. And knowing that, I'm sure they know that, you don't do things like this. And that's like the secondary reason. But the main reason is I don't want a quarterback that's done nothing but get injured. I'm gonna get to a credit. He played big in the biggest moment on the biggest stage. But what did he do after the national championship? He did nothing. Jalen Hurts got them too. Jalen Hurts, he got benched for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts won the SEC championship and took them back to the dance. And did they win the championship? No. They got whooped up by Trevor Lawrence. That's what happened. So, and then he goes back the next season. Alabama's the number one ranked, number one hype. And what happens? He gets injured. They underperform. And I'm only bringing up his college resume because that's the only thing we have to go by. And if you trying to tell me this guy is a replacement for Stafford and he gets hurt and besides one game hasn't done anything in college. Now, I'm not going to underrate how great of a season he had because he was like second in the Heisman voting or how good of a quarterback he is. But I don't like quarterbacks that get hurt. And if Detroit can't protect nobody, you come here, you will get hurt. It's going to happen. Like, no quarterback can be protected here because we don't know how to protect our quarterback, sadly. Even if you get a mobile quarterback, he's going to get hurt too. But my main reason is you trying to win games. Why are you going to give it up? And then the secondary thing is that cap hit. You're going to take a $32 million cap hit just to take an injury-prone QB that's not named Trevor Lawrence? What are you doing? You're going to waste a third overall pick. Like, we got to stop acting like we can't get another quarterback to replace Stafford, man. Like, you can get whatever generational talent at 3, and next year get the quarterback if things don't go well. It's just that simple.
And I'm going to echo what
Stafford would still be a trade piece as well. So I could even go that far. We have a 7-9 season. You can still trade Stafford for a lot and still probably get a top 5 for trading Stafford.
We go 7-9. We go 7-9, and you can trade my temper because I'll be pissed off if that happens. Now, hey, Don says
expectations, man. It's all about your expectations.
Make sure y'all hit that like button. Support the best podcast show in the nation. I appreciate it. It's all about Detroit pride, one pride. So please hit that like button. If you haven't done so, please do so. Also, again, we have a new YouTuber when it comes to Detroit Lions. That is Jim Bordeaux. Also note Lions on the Prowl podcast. They're all over the net when it comes to Spotify. And he talks to a lot of the individuals you hear in the legacy media when it comes to Rothstein, as well as Dave Burkett and those guys. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to his channel. And now I'm going to give him the view. What do you think about Tua? Can we finally put this to bed about Tua Tagovailoa?
Oh, yeah. We have to put it to bed. Now, I think the only way that Detroit drafts Tua is if Patricia and Quinn think that they can get another year or something else by saying, okay, we're going to rebuild. We're going to get rid of Stafford. We're going to start this kid or whatever, or we're going to sit him for a little while. Then we're going to start him later. And we're going for a total rebuild and try to get them on board with that to get them another year or two. But I don't see that happening. I totally agree with JMO on the injury front. I said when we drafted Kerryon Johnson, I noted his injuries in college and said he was injury prone. And I got a lot of flack for that when I first said it. And it turns out that he's kind of injury prone. Anybody quarterback, he's going to come to Detroit and have an injury history with that offensive line. He's not going to last 3 games here.
That's what I've been saying.
That's facts. That's facts, though. That's facts. They're not going to last 3 games. He's right.
We got Matthew Stafford getting sacked 10 times in the game. You think Tua could survive
10 times?
And then get sacked 7 times the next week. You think Tua could survive 17 NFL sacks? And those just the sacks. I ain't talking quarterback hits. Like, come on.
That's just the hits. And that injury, the one that he got hit on, the injury that he had, the hip injury when he got hit, it looked like a normal hit to me.
Yeah, I was watching that game, and I'm like,
but that was Stafford trying to initiate the contact.
It's his ankle too. Like he has a lot.
No, I meant when Tua got injured.
No, I'm saying he has a lot of injuries all over his body. It's not just the hip. The hip is the one where you're like, well, he might not play football again. But he's had ankle injuries, leg injuries.
Yep.
Like all over.
Sure has. Yeah, he has.
He come to Detroit. He's gonna have eye injuries, thyroid injuries, rib injuries. He's gonna be a walking broken Mr. Potato Head.
I just don't see
could
Tua
play.
as the answer because he's going to sit for 2 seasons. He's guaranteed sitting for
Yep.
2 seasons. So if that happens, then the Fords lied to the fan base. We got 2 more years to deal with this player, because if you're talking about having a guy who
Again, we had some Robo Luke while he is trying to get situated, and we will get back to him when it comes to that, when he is squared away. Now, I received a question before the chat from a subscriber, and I have to give a huge shout out to Mr. Carl Campbell. And he asked me, if the Redskins take Tua or Simmons, should we draft Young or trade back? Now, this is very possible. A lot of people did not think that Chase Young could be available at 3. But in all honesty, you could see the Miami Dolphins trading up to number 2, or even the Redskins doing it because Snyder is weird. What say you, J-Mo? If Chase Young is available.
If Simmons is gone somehow, and if Simmons is gone, then you take Chase Young. That's just the way I feel about it. But if he's there, I'm taking Simmons personally. But if Simmons is gone, yeah, I'm taking Chase Young without a doubt. I know Okuda is up there in some people's minds, but it depends on what we do in free agency. But if Simmons is not on the board, then I'm definitely gonna take Chase Young.
Okay, if you could trade back, say the Miami Dolphins went to 2, and the Los Angeles Chargers, they want to get Herbert or someone else, you would still say?
I'm taking Chase Young. Simmons ain't there. I'm taking Chase Young. Simple as that.
Jim, Simmons is gone at 2. Chase Young is sitting there, but we also have the ability of teams wanting to trade up. What should we do?
Well, one thing I do think it depends on what we do in free agency, because that's huge. We get Byron Jones, we're set at corner. We don't need Okuda right now because we got somebody we're already grooming in Amari. We don't have to have that. I see some holes in Chase Young's game. I don't know if anybody else sees this. I don't know. I like Chase Young. But if it's me, I'm trading back. I'm getting an extra pick, and I'm going to pick Derek Brown.
Okay.
Because I'm plugging that hole that Snacks left on the defensive line. If we have our cornerback situation solid and everything else is pretty good, you need that plugger in there. If we're not going to get just,
I've been very high on Derek Brown. Like I'm almost putting him over Chase Young on my board, but I just feel like if he's there, you could take him unless the trade back is sweet enough. But he does have holes in this game. We've talked about this on the round table a lot, but I still think some of those holes can be fixed. And one thing about him that could be a benefit is he could demand double teams, and really it's just about Trey Flowers not being the only person demanding double teams on the defense and allowing the guys to get home because our linebackers rush the passer. Those are the guys. Absolutely. But like when Flowers is getting double teamed and nobody else can get any type of push and you're not getting it from your nose tackles, then they become kind of useless out there rushing for no reason. But you get Chase Young, Derek Brown could do the same thing, but you get Chase Young, it's gonna be some disruption, and then you're gonna have to pay attention to that side.
Jeff Terry, this is Jim Bordeaux of the Detroit Lions on the Prowl podcast. He has mainly been doing Spotify and doing podcasts, not on YouTube, where he deals with the Lions, the big guys in the media when it comes to Rothenstein as well as Dave Burkett and those guys. So he's been doing this for an extremely long time. However, he is new to YouTube, and I just posted his link to his channel. We're trying to spread the word out because we support all Detroit Lions YouTubers, because we have all one goal in common. We want to change the narrative of Detroit and bring a presence to the Lions, because all we hear about is the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins. I don't care about those teams. I care about Detroit. Luke G.
Yes, sir.
Simmons is gone at 2. Chase Young is there at 3. Do you trade back or take Chase?
Trade back. In fact, I think that's the plan. I think that Bob Quinn plans to take Isaiah Simmons, and if he's not there, his plan is to trade back, and then he's going to take Derrick Brown. The reason I know and feel confident about this plan is because they still want to be able to have a guy with versatility that can anchor the team. One thing that I don't care, anybody who knows football knows, Chase Young does not give a full effort every time. He just doesn't. He does not give a full effort every time. And, there are some things that you got to look at and figure out, why is he disappearing in certain games? Where's the pass rush moves at? Those little things matter. I think they'll like Derrick Brown better because he's more like a Jarrell Casey type guy where you can move him from DN to D tackle and you're not losing production. And so I think they'll go in that direction to have the big guy anchor it if they trade down.
Now, to me, it would simply be, what is the offer of trading back? If say the Redskins took Tua or Simmons was taken at 2, and there's still Tua at 3, or another team that really wants to get a player, and they're willing to drop more capital than you would expect to get on your return, such as if a Miami or a team wants to throw down 2 first-round picks, I am definitely entertaining that trade because you can do so much with a team and get a Derrick Brown and get a Henderson, or you can literally change a whole defense with one type of trade, and I think that's very important to understand. We're not one player away from being a quality team. We are many players away to being a quality team. But however, if that trade is not there, if that trade is not something pleasing, and you feel that Chase Young could really be a difference maker, you added Byron Jones, he's going to be that pass rush, then simply take him. Take him. If you feel that this guy can do it, then do it. You know what I'm saying? No reason to simply trade back just to trade back. But I want capital. I want real picks because we can transform a team with more picks. But if it's some bland trade where you're not getting a whole lot back, just a second-round pick, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, I got a question for y'all. If we get 2 first-round picks, you get your Derrick Brown or whatever, this is a weird off-the-wall question, but if they're still on the board, would you take a running back?
With one of the first round picks late in the draft?
Yeah, if the top running backs are still on the board, would you take one?
Yeah.
After getting Derrick Brown or whatever.
Yes, I would. If we have the extra capital, I would.
I would too.
I guess Luka's not there. Yeah, because I was just thinking about it. It'd be rare, but the draft gets weird. It's some way we could get that second pick. Now, like I said, I'm taking Chase Young, but this is something different. We get that second pick. We get Derrick Brown or Okuda. I'll be fine. Even AJ Espinoza, I'll be fine. But if it's a running back there, and you probably don't know, Jim, but I'm probably the biggest Carry-On fan on here. But if it's a running back there, I'm taking. Hey, no, I was gonna tell you, I would have been one of the people arguing with you about his injury history. But yeah, I love Carry-On. But I'm taking a running back, man. Like for real. And you
I am too.
him with
I like
Carry-On.
Jonathan Taylor.
I love Jonathan Taylor.
That's my guy. That's who I want.
Taylor and pair him with Carry-On Johnson, and then you go you draft the rest of your defensive players. Got
to teach him how to hang on to the ball, but
Royal Kush, I appreciate it again. Dropping me another super chat. You are on fire, all you guys. I appreciate it, man. You guys are the best. Man, it's extremely awesome. We appreciate it. Go ahead, Luke.
No, I just saying, to me, the whole Chase Young debate is not even questionable. Even if you think he is something, I think that most coaches see a lot of things that I see, and to me, Chase Young on this team is a guy without a position, because he would be asked to do exactly what Devin Kennard does, and then the question then becomes, if he's asked to do what Devin Kennard is doing, what do you do with Devin Kennard? And I think it was you, Mike. I told before the season ended that when you asked me about the where am I leaning at in my investigation, I said running back is coming up as one of those picks in the first round if they get another pick late. And you was like, no, don't tell me that. I said, I'm telling you, it's showing up based on the evidence that I've been investigating. So If they get a running back, good. I think they need another running back, but I wouldn't take Jonathan Taylor. That fumbling, I can't. I can't do it.
I get you.
Now,
though.
now I
I really
see
get
Is
you
there
on
any
that.
running back that you would take in the first? If he was still
J.K.
there,
Dobbins.
Hey,
I
I don't got
don't
no
like
problem with him
Dobbins as
either.
much.
Yeah, I see
Why?
here
You
it
know what
says,
I like
would you?
about Dobbins though? I think he it's like there's speed and then there's like burst. He has speed and burst. Like he gets in the open field, you're not catching him. It's just not
Blue
gonna
and,
happen.
Blue and Silver says, would you take Jonathan Taylor over AJ Epinesa or Neville Gallimore? Not Gallimore. No way.
Not Gallimore.
Not Gallimore. And,
No,
and when I'm
not
saying if
Gallimore.
you take a running back,
No.
you picked
That's a
up
big dude.
You picked up extra picks to where you can utilize that pick as a starter. If you don't get extra picks, then no, I'm not in for it. But if you have the ability to, with extra picks, multiple picks, then yeah, I see no problem with it. But if you're saying you just get one, hell no, I'm going to take Gallimore. You've seen my mock
And it also,
draft. I
I think
talked
it also
about this
depends
dude
on
for a
who else you
while.
got too.
Go ahead.
I think it also depends on who you number one, who you got in free agency, but number two,
Yeah.
who you took with that first round pick. You know,
Oh, 100%.
depends on what holes you've already filled. You know,
100%.
So we don't
I do
know
like
that
AJ Epinesa. Interestingly enough, in the combine, he didn't do that
Well,
great,
he was
and he
dropping
dropped
a
like a
little bit.
rock.
That's
I
great
was
for
gonna
us.
say, I love
I
that.
know.
'Cause I'm not,
So do I.
Man,
That would be
man,
great.
you know what I did hate though is the Isaiah Simmons train going to the next level after his combine. I mean, I already told Luke he was gonna run a 4.4 or better, but I don't care about that. I'm like, bro, I don't care what he did. This dude's a freak of nature. If you couldn't see it before the combine,
Now wait,
you got a
J-Mo.
tell me
J-Mo.
the LSU tight ends that showed up in the national championship.
J-Mo.
Oh, 0. They were
J-Mo.
covered. What?
J-Mo, I gotta call you on this. You said that you would take Chase Young over Isaiah Simmons.
I've been on the. No, I didn't. No, I did not.
Hey, Mike, am I wrong?
Yes, I've been on taking Isaiah Simmons as my first pick.
No, you said you would take Chase Young over Isaiah Simmons.
No,
We had a whole debate about it. I told you Chase Young is not who you think he is. Isaiah Simmons is going to be the pick, and you said Chase Young is a generational talent. And I told you,
yeah, because you were saying that if we got Chase Young, he wouldn't be that good. But I've always been
no. What I said was, if I said, why would the Lions take Chase Young? That's an overreaction. They need somebody that's a safety that's dominating. And I said, if that happened to be the one player who I already got them picked to take, is Isaiah Simmons. And you said, I'll take Chase Young.
No, I literally been talking about taking Isaiah Simmons for a month and a half. What are you talking about?
Oh my God. Okay. I'll go back to the video.
Back and re-listen, because I've been on the Isaiah Simmons train for a while. I've been trying to convince people. I don't know what you're talking about. I've been on the moment you brought up Isaiah Simmons, I looked him up and saw what he was doing, and I was on the Isaiah Simmons train. I've only defended Chase Young because you was acting like he was a scrub, but I never wanted to take Chase Young over Isaiah Simmons. Never.
Okay. I'm telling you, you said it. You can trust me on it, or I'll just get you the clip.
Please get me the clip.
All right, cool.
Blue and Silver, let me just go ahead and clarify what I meant. I meant multiple picks is in plural, so more than one. If we have more than one, we receive 2 first-round picks. I'm willing to utilize the late one. I think it'd be a 26th pick, something around there on a running back. If we just got a one, no, I'm not wasting it. If we got multiple second-round picks, I'm fine with utilizing one because you're going to have 3 then second-round picks. 2 for Miami if you traded with them, and 1 for us. There's just so many people you can get that will initially be starters. So no, if it's one, I'm not going to be taking running back. You're 100% correct. There's a lot of individuals I would rather take, whether it be a cornerback, whether it be a defensive line. I think we need a lot of defensive help. But no, Argo Chiefs, I always got to say that. You're always on there. So Simmons over Chase Young. Let's get into this debate. Let me go to you, Jim. Simmons over Chase Young or Chase Young over Simmons? Who you got?
I got Simmons. I don't got Chase Young.
Okay.
Simmons fills multiple needs for us. He can edge rush. He can take away a tight end. He can be assigned to a running back. He could be a spy on a quarterback. You know, if we got a running quarterback, you put him out there as a spy, that guy ain't going nowhere. I mean, this guy has so many different facets of the game that he can play. And Chase Young can rush a passer. We can get a pass rusher. Is he a generational pass rusher? I'm not sold on that. So I would take the guy that fills a multitude of needs. So, yeah, I'm going Isaiah Simmons.
Awesome. Now, JMO, I kind of know what you're going with here, but give a perspective of why you take Simmons over Chase Young.
Well, there's a lot of perspectives. I mean, because like when you look into Simmons' advanced stats, it's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I almost wonder maybe because Ohio State is a story program or something, they just was like, Chase Young is just going to be the best defensive player, and we just going to run with it. Because, you know, Isaiah Simmons is elite at playing 5 positions coming out of college. Name me any player that's elite at playing 5 positions coming out of college in the last 5 years. Please.
Right.
Elite. Like, this is not elite at 5 positions. I don't care what he was doing. How do you even do that? This is a side note. I don't care what the player name was. How do you be elite at 5 different positions? I don't understand. But he is. That's free safety, strong safety, slot corner, outside linebacker, inside linebacker, for the people wondering. But Simmons pressured the quarterback on 33% of his rush attempts. So that means on a third of the time he's rushing, he's pressuring the quarterback. You know, he has the stats, he has the interceptions, he has the covering ability, he has the speed, he has the tackling power. I mean, my thing is you can always find a Chase Young. Whether, you know, you go Clowney, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, there's always some great pass rushing talent. No matter how good they end up, you know, later on in their career. But there's always some great pass rushing talent. But, you know, the same reason along of us wanting TJ Hawkinson last year. You know, there are some players that are just unicorns and can just do things that other players can't do. I mean, look at the tight end prospects this year. A bunch of garbage. No offense to none of them, but a bunch of garbage compared to TJ Hawkins. So I'm going back 10 years. I don't know in the last 10 years if it's been a player like Isaiah Simmons. And I think in the NFL, of those 5 positions he played, and this is just me looking at his tape, at least 3 of those positions is going to translate to him playing really well. Like at least 3. And I can see that being, you know, outside linebacker and playing safety. Inside linebacker, who knows? Middle linebacker, who knows? But my main thing with Simmons, and this is my main thing, he can rush the passer too. You're getting Chase Young to rush the passer. Well, you got a guy that could give you 5-6 sacks his rookie season. Maybe that won't be the 10 or 11 that Chase Young gives you, but he gives you that, and oh yeah, he's covering everybody. He's one of the smartest players on the field. I mean, like, you know, Simmons is just a guy that's just gifted with a lot of physical talent, and he found a way to combine that with his mind and his effort out there on the field, man. Like, I've been so on him being the best defensive player in the draft for over like a month. I'm like, this dude's the best defensive player in the draft. And then when I saw the national championship and how every person he covered was covered and how they didn't throw to him at all, like, you know, and he got a sack in that game. You know, it just sold me completely. I just think he adds multiple dimensions to a defense. Chase Young is just a pass rusher. Talking about a guy that's a pass rusher and a safety and a linebacker. Oh, and he can cover slot corners. Basically, you put him on the best offensive weapon. As a rookie, yes. He got to learn. He got to take his lump somehow. But we don't have a player that we can just put on somebody besides Slay, and Slay can only cover wide receivers. Who's going on the tight ends or the slot corners? Sometimes you got to put Slay on them.
Man, Luke, you got to go after that. I truly apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. Listen,
just destroyed that answer. JMO, I bow to you.
listen. I mean, to me, I don't even need the longer explanation. I've been saying this for the longest. That the Lions is going to take Isaiah Simmons. He's going to be the pick. Chase Young is not a factor. He's not somebody that the Lions should be concerned with taking. This whole idea. I don't care if it's going to be so crazy. I really believe that even if Isaiah Simmons is taken before we get to pick him, I believe that the Lions is still going to take Derrick Brown over Chase Young, because the one thing you can't teach is effort. But the truth is this: I don't believe in our head coach. And my attitude boiled down to what was Bob Quinn's promise and his 5 characteristics: versatility, high football IQ, high character guy, somebody who loves football. That guy does all that and then some. And then on top of that, I asked myself the simple question: who could come in and have an immediate impact? He could. Why? Meaning that even if Matt Patricia is not here next year, you can transition him to anything. So whoever the new head coach who come in, he doesn't have to go, oh, what am I going to do with that guy? He's a universal puzzle piece. I plug and I play. And it makes it a nightmare for people. Now, every prospect can have a boom bust rate, but this guy, I kept telling everybody, all I'm praying is he run a 4.5. Because if he run a 4.3, we got problems. And he ran a 4.3. And everybody lost their mind. Everybody.
This is a.
I like what Blue and Silver found him. He said put Simmons in the middle and let him freelance like Troy Polamalu. He has the speed to cover the whole field. Yeah, I like that.
I wouldn't do that.
Not as a rookie, but in the future, he got to learn something.
I mean, even in the future, I wouldn't do that. The thing is you have to be able to, depending on who the defensive coordinator is. If we talking about this current administration that we have at the coaching helm, I think you know he's going to be used all over. But I think if we get a guy who comes in who's an offensive minded guy and he gets a defensive coordinator and they're going to go to a 4.3, you need to let him be outside linebacker because that gives him the best. I wouldn't put him in the middle. I think you would take away from his skill set.
Folks, I see that we have 82 in the chat. I have no idea how many thumbs up there is, but please, please, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to any of the members of the DSA. The information is in the subscription, as well as Lions on the Prowl, Mr. Jim Bordeaux, subscribe to his channel. We're all things Detroit Lions. When it comes to Simmons versus Chase Young, oh my God. To me, I think pass rush is so important to get after the passer. And I do believe that Chase Young could be a dominant force on the edge there to get after the passer. And it would be extremely difficult for Bob Quinn, in my eyes, for him to make this decision because you're picking between two very good players. They both could be individuals that could change the game. They both have potential to be a defensive rookie of the year, in my opinion. What do you need? I think it would be what did they do in free agency if this came up to them. But I do like Chase Young a lot. I really, really love Chase Young. I know I'm in the minority here in considering the fact that there's two white guys on here. I shouldn't feel in the minority, but I do a little bit. And so, and I think we have to rush the passer. I think if you watch Chase Young and he gets after the quarterback, instead of over pursuing, he can adjust his hips and plant his foot and take out the quarterback. I've watched a lot of that. I'm extremely impressed. And I think about having Chase Young, the opposite of Trey Flowers, is super intriguing to me and salivating. But at the same time, so is Simmons. I mean, these are really good players. If you're at 3, Simmons is available. Would you trade back, Luke G, to any trade back, whether it be one spot, 2 spots? If that was the case, are you going to trade back? Yes.
The only way I will forego picking up a Isaiah Simmons is if somebody hit me with the 2 first, a second, a fourth. If I get like 4 picks to move some spots down, as much as I love Isaiah Simmons, there's some people in there, although he can play a multitude of positions, I'll be able to fill those positions with the picks. And for me, let's say, for example, the Oakland Raiders decide we'll give you our first this year, our 2 first this year, we'll give you one of our seconds and the first next year. As much as I love Isaiah Simmons, and I think a lot of him, that deal is sold, signed, sealed, and delivered. I'll fall back, take me an offensive lineman, and take me a running back, and add me a receiver. I'll do it all because you will have so much more draft capital. You can then go out and take another safety. But if I'm not getting offered 2 first, I'm sitting right at home at 3, praying to God that somebody trade up to 2, because I think the Redskins want him, because they're going to look at him and go, that's Sean Taylor 2.0. And Chase is going to fall to us to 3. I feel like if Chase had the backing that people talk about, he'd be getting talked about first to second overall. And I don't think that's where he's going to land. Now, if he do, even better for us, we take Isaiah Simmons.
He didn't do the combine, and I don't care whatever excuse he had, but if he went to the combine and destroyed the combine, he would be consensus number 2. But he was like, no, I'm too good for that. I'm going to do me. All right. That's how your stock falls.
Well, you got to understand he's protecting himself as well. If you look what happened to Kenneth Murray, he got injured at the combine. Don't know the extent of it. AJ Epinesa, he dropped like a rock because of the combine. So I think he's protecting himself. It's extremely difficult.
If you're the best player, what you need protection from?
Because you're the best player.
Yeah.
The only thing, I mean, he could hurt his stock. That's what I think Mike is saying. Mike is saying he can hurt his stock, and I think Jim would agree. The only thing he could do is hurt his stock at this point. If everybody is all on the mid, to me, it's like the big bad bully. Like, you remember how everybody was so afraid of Debo till Craig knocked him out and he ain't had that swag no more? That's what it is. He can lose that energy if he go out there and he bums at this combine.
He could lose perception. He has nothing to gain. He's not going number 1.
Right.
He has nowhere to go. I mean, he comes out there and he tries to perform. He could get injured. Like his swag, you were saying, that could be gone. And you know what? If he doesn't test well enough, he's dropping in the draft. There's really no reason for him to do it. There's no good reason for it.
Why are we going negatively? He's supposed to be the best player. He should go to the combine and destroy it like Isaiah Simmons did.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm saying if it was me as that player, which it never would be, but you know what I'm saying. But if it was, I wouldn't do it either.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's the reason why his stock is falling. If you're gonna not go to the combine and Isaiah Simmons, who was already a top 5 pick, destroys the combine, your stock is going to fall. But Mike, I wanted to ask you, you were on more the Chase Young bandwagon because you were thinking about sacks. How many sacks do you think he would get as a rookie? I think
talking
about impact.
It really depends, because you got to understand right now we have no defensive tackle depth, and man, if we don't get any more depth there, they'll probably just double team him, and it would hurt his sack count. So it just depends who would be in the middle, but I think he can do. I could think he can get to like 11 his rookie year if that's the case, if you have an okay defensive tackle. But if we don't get one and we're kind of stuck where we're at right now with some half broken old folks that ain't getting there, then it would be a lot less. I think, be like, you hate me, McKenzie, 8. I think that would be the kind of deal there. But if we have some sort of presence in the middle, I think it can get a little bit more.
See, I don't think that Chase Young's stock is dropping because he didn't do the count. I think that's part of the puzzle. The other part is when you watch that film, it's like, why you don't play hard every down? Why you do the same move that's not gonna work in the NFL? You ain't finna run around everybody in the NFL. But if he got 11 sacks his first season, I would be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked.
8 would be too few. You got to get 10 sacks. If we're drafting you number 3 overall, and I'm not like a numbers means everything guy or nothing like that, but I need 10 sacks. And not 10, at least 9. Because you're supposed to be, the best defensive player in the draft. Like I said, I believe in Chase Young a lot. And I think he probably could get 9 or 10 sacks, but I don't know if those 9 or 10 sacks would be more impactful than what Isaiah Simmons would bring you. Because he's going to be sacking the quarterback too. He's going to be getting sacks too. That's my main thing.
Folks, the Hook Cam just came in. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He's a former coach. I think he still coaches. I'm not sure exactly what level, but his intake when it comes to players and scheme is bar none. Absolutely awesome. His content's fantastic. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. We had him on the roundtable last week, and he's going to be on a lot more. That is Luke G's crush, and so we gotta make Luke G feel happy. So he's got to get on here every once in a while.
I put it like this. To me, if you're taking Chase Young anywhere in the top 5 and all you get is 10 sacks or 11 sacks, I need to be asking questions because Josh Allen got 10 and a half and he wasn't top 5. You know, in Ndamukong Suh, we took him second overall, I believe, and he had 10 sacks his rookie season. I don't see that kind of intimidation and power and prowess from Chase Young. I think the film is short, but just really quick, let me plug this. The film study are starting to drop this week. I'm going to drop one tonight and then another one tomorrow. So stay tuned. You're going to enjoy this. We took a look at a very interesting prospect that I think the Lions definitely have their eye on, and he should be a Lion. But that's another story.
Now, the combine is just complete. Is there any individual on the panel here other than Isaiah Simmons that looked really good and you would consider drafting as well, whether it be a first-round pick, second-round pick, third? Is there other individuals that you feel showed a lot of promise and showed upside in the combine that you'd be considered for the Lions to take? Jim, is there any other individual you saw and say, wow, I would love for the Lions to take this guy?
I saw a few offensive linemen I wouldn't mind taking, but not in the first round. I mean, I think we need to go defense in the first round. I really do. But no, I don't think there's anybody else that blew me out of the water. I guess because I don't know. I'm just kind of stuck on where I'm at. I mean, we need defensive help. I mean, maybe a running back in the second round. I'm still stuck on the same people I liked before, although I think the running back class is a little deeper and the wide receiver class is insane. I think the wide receiver class might be the deepest class in the entire draft.
Which is why you don't give $6 million to a 34-year-old receiver. But I digress.
Hey, man, I was with you on that.
Oh my God.
I mean, I like Amendola, but I don't think he's worth that much money.
I mean, $6 million.
Tell you that.
I love Amendola. I'm okay with it. And I just want to get those third down conversions. He can do it. Maybe we overpay just a little bit, but again, you got to overpay to get free agency here. We had a bad year.
I don't think he's bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. You know, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that, you know, for that money, we could have got somebody a little better, I would have think. That's all I think.
When I contested it, I got my head chewed off because I'm trying to tell. I'm like, listen, all I care about is what they told me the price tag was. If I don't like the price of the shoes, I don't buy them.
Right.
That's $6 million. That $6 million hurt my spirit. I'm like, for 600 yards?
That's it.
JMO, is there any other individual in the combine that you saw I would love for the Lions to pick up? Again, it may not be a first-round pick, second-round pick. It could be under the radar individual. What say you?
I'm not really into the combine like that, and I don't think a combine is like an evaluation of most players unless it just depends on the player. But that one offensive lineman that was like 360 and ran like really fast, I think Mickey, or he had some weird name, but I like him. But other than that, I don't really pay attention to the combine. The combine has never ever moved the needle for me at all.
Okay, Luke, tell us about it.
I got a few people. I will take Kenneth Murray all day and twice on Sunday. Not at 3. Keep in mind, but if you're talking about a first-round pick, I would take, Kenneth Murray. Neville Gallimore from Oklahoma, hands down, and Antoine Winfield Jr. I'm taking any of them in the first round, and I wouldn't even blink twice. I would dare a person to tell me otherwise. But again, it would have to come with us having multiple first-round picks. I mean, if it's late, like super late in the first, I even take J.K. Dobbins.
Okay. A.F. Fraggle, when are you dropping your post-combine video? I was going to do it today, but I'm doing the roundtable today, so I'll push it back to tomorrow or Thursday. I will drop it. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be extremely aggressive because I feel that's what Bob Quinn needs to do. And I'm going to do my damnedest to get exactly what I think he's going to do. Not necessarily of what I would want, but I got to step in his shoes and determine what's going to happen. And I am considering the fact that a Slay trade may happen, so you may see an extra pick there. But I will be doing that starting tomorrow. I'm going to start making it up. I'm super excited about it. So this will be my Detroit Lions mock draft 2.0. The next one I do will be after free agency, but expect a aggressive Lions mock draft, and it's going to be fun. Royal Kush, holy smokes, you are awesome today. You are dropping the money like weight. I truly do appreciate it. Man, I really appreciate it. It says, what about Romeo Akwara's brother?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, he was talking about the Lions and he'd love to be with his team. Luke, why you say no?
No. So this is what I did. I sat down long and hard. I watched extra film on him to see what it was, and I'm just like, I feel like he's gonna be average at best. If you're talking about taking him late, third, fourth, okay, cool. Project, maybe you got to put a little work in, cool. But them first 2 rounds, if his name pop up, then that's just more reason for us to start over. Just burn it all up, just sweep it underneath the rug. There's some things about him I like, but I feel like his role is very limited. It's very limited, and he doesn't fit that versatility that this current administration wants. So nope, I'm good. I'm good on that.
Lions Rumble 81. My God, today's I appreciate these super chats. It's going crazy, man. Very humbling. Truly, truly appreciate it. And when I withdraw the money, I will make sure that I let everybody know. And whenever I purchase the product, I will make sure to show it off. I truly, truly appreciate it. It means a lot, man. It truly does. And you have a question here. Oh, nope. It's the Lions Pride approves. But I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Smash that like button. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, like, when that kind of stuff happens, man, it helps a lot to move it forward. And we do this out of passion. If you listen to all of it, we all get passionate about this team. We get passionate about football, and we committed to doing this because we know we got a Pride Nation that is passionate about it. So, man, when you show up in force, we appreciate it. Even if you didn't do a super chat, tell a friend to come check us out. That's the best thing you can do for us.
Yeah, and spread the word. That's what it's all about, is one pride. Let's see here. How likely do you think we draft Okuda? I give it about a 0% chance that we draft him.
0.
From the beginning, from day one, they kept saying the Lions are going to draft Okuda, and we all talked about how it's win now drafting a corner, even though he could be a real stud. It just seems extremely unlikely unless we trade back. We've been on this bandwagon forever, whether it be Derek Brown or Isaiah Simmons. And now after the combine, everyone's wooing over Isaiah Simmons and saying he could go early. I would say to you and all those people out there, where the hell have you been looking? Because we've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
So
I gave that prediction after the season ended, and I was like, I got yelled at, but I was like, listen, I want the most dysfunctional safety, and I think we got a guy who can happen to just play linebacker, and it's Isaiah Simmons that they're gonna take. He fits every characteristic. And then just go back. One of the clues that let me know that we were taking the tight end was how he talked about characteristics that lined up with TJ Hockenson. He didn't even shy away when it came to Isaiah Simmons. He literally was like, oh, that playmaker, that guy over there doing all that cool stuff. Oh, he's something special. Yeah, see, he's not even trying to hide it. And that tells me if he don't get a trade offer that woos him, he's taking him.
Okay. Folks, let's transition to the second round pick, or if we did a trade in the late first round, who's an individual you would like to take if it was late first round or simply staying with our second round pick? If you don't have a name, what position? What do you think would work out well? Jim, what say you?
I'm going running back. I'm sorry. We need to run the ball. I know we need defensive help. It depends also, like I said, what we do in free agency. And I know Luke G's going to disagree with me, but I want Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay,
I
because you said you like
disagree with you.
Dobbins, as I was like, okay, you might disagree with that. I know he puts the ball on the ground a little bit, and I think he's definitely that's true because he needs to be coached up a little, but
No, I'm in agreement with you. I think we need a running back in the second round because, like you, I thought the same thing with Kerryon. I'm like, man, this dude's gonna be injury prone. Then he broke those runs, and I said, oh, maybe we'll be okay. And then I guess
I'd
now
said
it's
the
not
same
gonna be that
thing.
case.
Yeah, I was starting to eat crow there for a little while until he got hurt.
Folks,
And then I was like,
we
okay.
have another individual that decided to join us on the panel. That is Real Detroit Lions fans, also known as Real. And I got to do an introduction. Next is the man who simply, by pulling both ends, he can transform a diamond back into coal. What up, though, Real?
What's up, guys? What's up, Detroit family? And what's up, all the Real Lions fans in the chat right now? It's good to hear from you guys. Good to hear from you, J-Mo. Haven't heard from you in a while. And Jim, it's good to hear you on here as well. We've been talking about you in the chat a little while, past couple of weeks, and it's good to hear you actually speak. And let me tell you, your voice is very soothing. I was listening to you on my ride home, and man, I had a bad day at work. And let me tell you, you were like, you just made me calm down. I was like, okay, let's talk Lions. Let's get on this. Let's go.
What is happening?
Oh no!
What is going on? Only on the round table can you have this moment.
Oh my goodness.
Not even
The
sure
hook
what this
cam-
moment is, Luke.
The hook cam.
Man, oh my goodness.
He's just being real. I think he believes that when it comes to Jim, he could be impenetrable.
Oh wow! Oh,
Okay, Real. You haven't spoken a word. What position group, what player are you going to target in the second round?
In the second round, I think it's D tackle all the way, because I think in the first round we're getting Simmons or Okudah, so that addresses our defensive backs. So I think that it's going to be defensive tackle, but obviously it depends on what we do in free agency and what we do in the first round.
Okay. J-Mo, did I get to you yet? Because I forgot.
No.
Go ahead and speak.
I'm actually, considering how bad our defense was, I'm surprised Luke and Jim are talking about getting an offensive player. But I'm going offense. I'm with getting an offensive lineman or a running back because if we can get a stud O-lineman, I really don't know how good this O-lineman class is, to be honest with you. But if we can get a stud, because the one thing, yes, our offense is so good, but it's good because of talent, not because of continuity. Like, it's good because Kenny Golladay is so good and Stafford is so good. But, sometimes we got to have a system and we got to have a group of great players to when Kenny Golladay or Stafford doesn't have a good game, Stafford's getting protected all day so we can still run the ball or make plays. And I think that we have to address this offense because no matter how good our offense ever is, it's always incomplete somewhere. And we need to complete the offense. I think we have every piece. We just need a running back and better protection because I definitely believe Kerryon is reliable. But I just think we need more. We don't just need one great running back. We need two. We need more than just one guy because, if somebody gets hurt, even if somebody doesn't get hurt, it just adds the versatility to our team. So getting a running back or O-lineman, if it's a stud, I'm all for it because I'm just tired of, I know the defense is always bad and we have to address, but I'm just tired of no matter how good the offense is, it's always incomplete somewhere. It's about time that we complete the offense for the quarterback, especially when you ain't gonna have no defense for him to so you're gonna need to score points.
Here's my view on this. If we have 1 second round pick, I am going defense opposite of whatever we did with the first pick. So if we take linebacker, I'm looking to go defensive tackle if Neville Gallimore is there. I love this dude for a while now. I've had him in my mock draft. I think he'd be fantastic on that defensive line. If we don't go that route, if AJ Epinesa is there due to his combine sucking and he's there in the second round, I'm going to jump on him too. I think he'd be a great pass rusher. When it comes to the combine, I don't put so much traits on it. Like, to me, the guy was literally a top 15 pick, but since he had a bad combine, he's going to drop to the second round. Shoot, I'll jump on that. I'll take that risk in the second round. If we have multiple second round picks, plural, more than one, again, I'm going to go the route of a defensive lineman, like a Gilmore, possibly a guard. If that's not the case, then defensive end like a AJ Epinesa and a guard too as well. Or take one of those players and get a running back if there's one that's valued still there. If it's one second round pick, I'm not going offense. I'm going to still continue that defense up there. But I am not going to sign Dion Lewis. 209.
I also feel like it depends on free agency. Look, I know there's no way in hell we getting Derrick Henry, but we get Derrick Henry or Joe Thurney, then you don't need to get an O lineman or a running back. You see what I'm saying? So it depends. It depends on what happens in free agency when we talking about this, because we don't know what's going to happen in free agency. Like, once free agency is over, we can give you much more accurate depictions of the players because we know what we did in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, today I heard 97.1 a ticket basically say that it would be a Lion-ish thing to do to go get Joe Tunney. And I'm like, but who else would they get in free agency? And
like, is he?
That's why you don't listen to that, man. Come on.
Well, listen. Here's the thing. I just want to point this out. One of the reasons why, and I think Jim could probably agree with this. One of the reasons why we said running back is if you look at this draft, when are you going to have a chance to get a top tier running back in this draft past that second round? It's enough defensive players that if you skip on it in the second, you can grab one in the third. You'll be able to still grab an offensive lineman in the fourth because it's so many defensive people. And then you'll still be able to steal a good receiver in the fifth because it's so deep. The running back position is not as deep. And so there's going to be a huge value. I think Jonathan Taylor and J.K. Dobbins took it before the second. I think the Eagles want a running back. I know Seattle want to re-up on a running back. And the Kansas City Chiefs want a running back.
Right.
So
I think you're right. And I also think that running back's a funny position because, we've devalued the position so much that when you look at the second round, if those players drop, like you mentioned, they might not, but if they do, they're like the top picks in the draft. You can't pass up on that kind of talent.
Yeah, agree. I'm in total agreement.
When crazy things happen in the draft, sometimes you got to go against the grain and go best player available. Because if a star running back falls, it don't matter what we wanted to do in the second round. You got to take them, especially when it's at a position that isn't secure.
Melamo dropped a super chat of $5 again. Wow,
man!
Wow, you guys are on fire today. Truly
salute to that, man. That's awesome, man. He said, anyone like Claypool from Notre Dame? He's Calvin 2.0. I think Claypool is cool, but there's somebody else I got my eye on at receiver, and I think we can have him in like the 4th or 5th round.
He balled out, man.
Why we gotta call people Calvin 2.0 though? Like, come on.
I think he's trying to show emphasis that he believes that he's that caliber of player, that he could be a Calvin Johnson 2.0.
And Calvin's
got that size and speed combination.
He's in Atlanta right now. So
yeah, he's got that size and speed comparison of Calvin Johnson. I think he near ran the.
He got his hands?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. No one has his hands. I'm sorry, man. Ain't no one got Calvin hands. Calvin's in the world of his own. But he's a big guy, same speed and fast. I think he definitely helped his draft stock. I think that's guaranteed him to be a second round pick. So he moved up, and which is great for him. I'm not doing a big emphasis on the wide receiver position unless we had multiple picks. Then I'd think about it. But man, it would be crazy to see with another big guy on the Lions team that you can get touchdowns in the red zone. That's something we need help with, and I think you can do that for sure. Real, man, look real. This is interesting because there's rumors that guard Trey Turner from the Panthers could be on a trade block. I've been hearing that a little bit today. Would you consider trading for him? And if so, what would you give up?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. We need a guard. We need a guard like really bad. We're letting Glasgow go. We have Joe Dahl in. We either need to address it in free agency or the draft or a trade like this. So yeah, I would love that. I would love if Bob Quinn can pull another Snacks Harrison-esque trade and get him for like a 5th-round pick.
Oof.
But I don't know if that could happen. But
Nah,
I didn't think Snacks for a 5th-round pick could happen either. So I don't know.
I'll tell you that. No, none of us thought that. I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Right,
but
right.
I could have imagined Snacks more so than this guy. This guy's 26 years old, been to the Pro Bowl 4-5 times, and I can't
5
stand the Pro
seasons
Bowl
in a row. 5 seasons
Right.
Well,
in a row.
I wouldn't have thought, Quandre Diggs for that low of a pick or AJ Bouye for that low of a pick either. So it seems like teams like be trading players for garbage picks. I don't understand. Like, who are you getting in the 5th round that's going to make up some kind of production that Snacks Harrison is putting up? I don't know. So unless you're trying to just dump contracts and I don't know. I don't know his contract.
His contract though. They were trying to get rid of him for money reasons.
Yep. Yeah,
That's true.
they'll try to dump contracts on it now. But I think you're right. I don't think he could be a 5th. And I know Mike didn't ask me, but I'll just go ahead and get it out of there. But yes, I will trade for him, and I would be willing to give up as high as a 3rd-round pick for him because I believe that you'll get about the same player in the 3rd round. This one come at 26 years of age, some experience, and you got to keep in mind Christian McCaffrey has been running the ball really well. This guy is cool. Doesn't commit a lot of penalties. He has committed a few. Doesn't give up a lot of sacks. That's cool. But I think anytime I hear the word guard, I salivate at the idea of it, and I'm willing to pay for that. I just need somebody dysfunctional at the guard position.
You win in the trenches.
Wait,
Just
are you
ask
willing to
World
give
War
up
I.
a 3rd round this year or next year, or it doesn't matter?
I don't care. 3rd. I don't
That's
care.
a lot.
3rd. Give me a 3rd. They can send him to me, and I'll give you a 3rd. You send me the guard. You're gonna throw me a 5th or something. I can care less. But yes, I'm willing to give a 3rd because I believe that whoever you get, see, it's a formula to what Bob Quinn do. Most people recognize it who pay attention to the patterns. The 3rd round, he's going to take a lineman anyway from Michigan.
Okay.
So-
Well, you got to think that Chris Harris was a 3rd-round pick. Would you take him for getting rid of a Chris Harrison? Yeah. So it's one of those things where
Kenny Galladay was also a 3rd-round pick. So
that's true, man. That is true.
Beast.
That is true.
But when it comes, it's a few things I'm willing to pay for, and that's elite defensive backs and offensive linemen to protect Matthew Stafford. I'm tired of seeing it. Like, I've never seen him protect a full season in my life. I'm just tired of seeing him having to tackle. He has to tackle safeties because he's running because he's not protected, and then he gets hurt. His whole injury is because Stafford had to tackle somebody after the line getting blown up. First of all, he shouldn't be tackling people. Chill out. But second of all, he shouldn't be in that position. So I'm definitely willing to trade for him.
The only way you protect Stafford is to run the ball.
Yeah, we haven't been doing that for.
And how do you run the ball, Luke, with offensive guards? I keep saying it. We ran the ball way better when Frank Ragnar was at guard, but we had to move him to center, and now we don't have any guards.
Exactly.
Which is why that 3rd-round pick, Cesar Ruiz from Michigan, that's who I think he gonna look at.
Well,
just putting it out there.
Who needs a guard when you have the great Dion Lewis could be joining us?
We not doing
You're not gonna forgive them, man. You're not gonna forgive them for even trying.
We not doing this Dion Lewis stuff, man.
No.
209.
God, I hope not.
Folks, it is your time to ask us the questions. We are going to take the questions from you and answer it. If you want to ask us one-on-one to myself or anyone else on the panel here, do that. If it's across the panel, let us know. But before once we wait for your questions to come aboard, I got a question for everyone here. Real, what player do you want the Lions to avoid in the draft? We've talked about a lot of people we want to get, but who's an individual that you want us to avoid who could be a bust?
I'm not gonna say that this person's a bust, but I want them to avoid Okuda just because I don't want them to take a cornerback with the third overall pick. I want them to take Simmons or Chase Young if they could grab him, or Derek Brown, or trade back. Even if they trade back out of the top 10, I'd rather have them do that and accumulate a lot of draft capital than just draft Okuda. That's just my personal opinion, and I think that there are certain positions that you don't draft that early because of the value of the position, money wise, and just in general, the amount of draft capital you can get from trading back. So I personally want them to avoid Okuda.
I see you, real. I see you. I see what you did there. Okay.
Hey, you can't get it past the impenetrable.
Can't get it past me. Can't penetrate me, man.
Pause.
Who's a player in this draft you want the Lions to avoid not taking?
It's got to be Okuda. I'm not Okuda. Tua.
Oh yeah.
Has to be Tua. Has to be Tua for me.
Yeah,
I got all these words messed up, but no, it has to be Tua because of his injury history, and I just don't see where he's going to fit in and with this offensive line. I just don't like that pick. I think it's a waste of a third overall pick.
Jim, you can mess up all your words, man. You speak so smoothly and eloquently that
And with that, good night.
Yo, real. My name is Jim. We need to hang out. Time now.
What did I get into, man? What happened here?
Hook Cam and Luke G, and now we got Real and Jim.
And Jim, right. Like Jim just go to the lake and talk to the fish to get on the hook. Come.
Right.
Man, I can't believe you just threw Andrew out that quick, Real.
Right. He just talks so calmly and so smoothly. Yeah.
If Andrew could speak that smoothly, man, we wouldn't even need a DSA. It would just be Andrew.
Right.
I'm just playing around, guys.
James Holyfield says, will they take a D lineman in free agency?
I mean, I hope so. Shoot. It would be nice. I mean, I really don't know if they would do it, and I don't know if we have enough money to afford some of the best defensive linemen in free agency. But if we got one, mainly a D tackle, I think that would be great because I mean, you gotta let draft picks develop. But if somebody is proven great at their position, I'm more willing to go for that than having a draft and hoping somebody will be great. But I really don't know what they're gonna do in free agency. Only thing that surprised me is that they wanted Byron Jones. I can't believe they were that smart, and I'm being honest when saying that. So we'll see what happens.
Luke, with his track-like speed, can Isaiah Simmons transition into a cornerback?
A slot corner, but I wouldn't want him there. And in the NFL, I think that there's a different beast. Like I think if you put him on Danny Amendola would make Isaiah Simmons look real bad. Like he would. He has enough routes and craftiness in his route running to get a person off you. To me, what Isaiah Simmons does is the same thing that Jamal Adams does. Whereas you do put him on a slot receiver, he's just gonna bully the crap out of him. Just beat him up at the line of scrimmage and be like, "I dare you to throw it to him," because if you throw it to him, he's already on the ground. But I wouldn't put him out there. But he certainly had that speed to run with him. It's just that NFL route running is a different beast.
Mm-hmm. D. Williams says Okuda is going to be a 10-year starter. Let's be real. I think he can be.
Hey, don't say my name in vain.
Don't say my name in vain.
Oh, man. You're so impenetrable.
He could be a 10-year starter. Listen, everybody in the top 10 is probably going to be a 10-year starter. That's not the point.
Yeah, I think he'll be a great player. I just think the issue with us is we got to win now, and I think that he'd not be the best player to win now with a pick like a top 3 pick or a top 5 pick. How much are you willing to pay for the guard from New England, Luke G?
Shoot, listen, apparently he got 20 people on his head. And if the price is driven up to where he walk away being the highest paid guard, I'll just trade that third and I'll just bow out. Because Ted Karras is supposed to be a free agent as well. So you can pick up Ted Karras. He's probably not as polished as Tooney or Tunney, how you pronounce his name. But no, if the price gets too high, I'll bow out. You can have him, because while he's a good player, I don't believe in mortgaging your money on that one player. So how much would I pay? What's the type of guard make right now? I'll put him in the top 3 guards. I'll put it like that. I don't know the top 5 guards at this point pay, but if I had to make him the top 3, yeah, I'll probably do that because the cap is going to go up. And so other guards are going to end up pushing his cap down further.
This one I'll throw at you, Jim. How would you feel about this draft? Simmons 1, Gross Matos 2, Duggar in the 3rd, Anu in the 4th, Bredson in the 5th, and Khalil Davis in the 5th. And I don't know who Antonio Gandy Golden is.
That's the guy I'm talking about. When everybody talk about Claypool, that's the guy I'm talking about. Antonio Gandy Golden, 6'4", 6'6". He ran like a 4.6 at the combine. Don't care. Plays at Liberty. He bodies the crap out of everybody. Just body him. That's all he do. Just body him. Ball up in the air, high points, body. You're not getting out of his hands. That's the guy I was talking about.
Okay, well then I'll throw this one now at Jim here. What do you think we could get, or what could we be looking for a guy to replace Jared Davis? Let me see. Let me. Y'all think we could be looking for y'all think we could be looking for a guy to place Jared Davis? Yeah, I think we can with Tavai. But is there anyone else in the draft that we could replace a Jared Davis with?
I'm gonna throw out Corey Littleton. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was my turn to speak.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. You could do it.
No, that's all I was gonna say. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think he's already been replaced. To be honest with you.
Ooh.
No, I agree. I think Tavai.
I think Tavai's taking over the middle.
With my goat Tavai. Yeah.
Yep.
I was very high on.
Jay might be killing me.
I was very high on Tavai, man. I was talking.
I'm telling you, I'm not a huge
people
fan
Tavai
of
was gonna be
Davis. That's
special.
just the way it is.
Hey,
I'm kind of
we
like
gotta
if you point him in the right direction, he might get a sack or something like this. But if you don't, he just runs right past people. I don't know if you've ever watched that. He just runs right past people.
He's a weak side linebacker.
He's got speed, but I don't know. I don't like his instincts. I'll be honest.
Okay.
And from JoJo Burns, definitely following up, just trying to get some questions here and give you answers from our perspective. And yes, JMO was correct. As soon as Tavai was picked, within, I think, 30 seconds, he goes, the reason we got him because of his size and he could stop the tight ends. I looked at him and said, how the hell did you figure that out? We just drafted this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was live too. So, and he was right, man. I think Tavai is going to turn out to be a good player for us. And all those people that said we drafted him way too early, the media folk out there, they're definitely not understanding that he is a decent player for us.
I'm gonna keep saying, Bill Belichick called the man special. I don't need any casual on Twitter talking to me. Bill Belichick said he was special, and Bill Belichick was going to draft him. That's all I need to hear.
Mike,
yeah.
Speaking of the media, you remember the media said that the reason the Lions should not take Simmons was because of his size.
Oh, man. Okay, tell the story right now to everybody who has not heard this story because I died when I seen this.
Okay, so there's an article where they're trying to make a case for why the Lions should not take him. And it was basically saying that he's his size, that he's too big or he's bigger than the average linebacker. It was saying that he's too big to play slot corner, even though we know he did, and that he would be a guy without a position, basically. And you can't spend a pick that high on somebody with that size, basically, essentially. And I just thought, really?
Yeah.
Because at 6'4", he ran pretty fast.
I heard Valenti say something about that too today, that he wouldn't have the Lions draft him because they wouldn't know what to do with him, and he's kind of a positionless player. And I'm like, come on, man.
What?
That dude just hates us, man. That dude hates us, though. I swear.
I am so sick of fans and analysts and media members just being stupid.
Can I play devil's advocate on this one?
In what sport is a positionless player like Isaiah Simmons a bad thing? That means if your best linebacker get hurt, outside linebacker, now you can put him there. Your best safety get hurt, you can put him there. And if they not hurt, you can still put him there. The fact that he can play multiple positions just gives us way more chess pieces to move. Because like every team goes through injuries. If something happens to one of the players, now you have a player that's reliable enough that you can move him around as you move the rest of your pieces. And to me, that just makes no sense at all. Like I just don't understand that when you play 5 positions at an elite level, how is that a bad thing?
Well, listen. Listen. Once Real said he want to be devil's advocate, you know I'm ready for this. Real, go for it.
Because I know. Listen, the guy that wrote that article is Jeff Risdon, right? He's the guy that's always on the Detroit Lions podcast. So I gotta come to his defense here, because if somebody was saying this about Luke G, I would come to your defense too, So listen, he didn't say that he's too big to play linebacker or that he's too big to play a position in our team. He said he is too big to play safety, okay, or defensive back in general, and that he would have to play linebacker in the NFL. And given that he would have to play linebacker, this is Jeff Risdon's opinion. I don't agree with that, but that's what he said, okay? He's saying that because in the NFL he would have to play linebacker, we should avoid him because of our needs. And we do not need a linebacker more than we need a defensive lineman or a defensive back. So on that aspect, I agree with him. But the only thing I disagree with is that I disagree that he's too big to play safety because he's fast as a motherfucker. So I don't understand how he's I don't understand. He was faster than a ton of the safeties and the defensive backs in the draft. So why is he too big to play safety? That just seems like a plus in my opinion. But I just got to push back because I agree with parts of what he's saying.
I think the premise of it still is flawed, even in that it's not the biggest need, because it's not that. I can see if we were saying Isaiah Simmons is just a linebacker, but keep in mind when we was at the 8th pick, people wanted Devin White. I don't remember nobody complaining about taking Devin White, even though I said, listen, he's Jared Davis 2.0. He's going to miss a lot of tackles. He's going to make plays, but he's going to miss a lot of tackles. And I just look at it and say, this whole premise is flawed because guess what? He's not just a linebacker. He's not too big to play safety. He's not too big to play slot. And is he a need? Yes. He fits 3 of our needs. We need a cornerback. We need a safety. We need a linebacker. That one man covers all 3 aspects.
Completely agree. I just didn't want to get his words misconstrued,
Fair enough. Yeah. I respect that. Fair enough.
What's going on, Eric Brenner? Welcome back. Long time no see. Exactly. Here is a question from Alien Source, the whole panel. Who would you all take with our 2nd round pick? I'm going to take, if I had the option and these 2 players on the board between Gilmore and crazy AJ Epinesa, I would take one of those guys, preferably Gilmore. I think we need interior. What say you, JMO?
As long as it's a running back or a defensive tackle or a defensive end, I'm just going to take best player available. As long as it's one of those 3 positions, I'll take best player available for whatever position that is.
Jim, what say you?
Definitely not taking no wide receiver.
Well, I think Gallimore's going to be gone, and Espinesa will probably be gone, even though he didn't have a good combine. I think he's going to be gone.
Agree.
I'm hoping Jonathan Taylor slips, and that's who I want in the 2nd round.
Okay. Real, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys with like Gallimore, or if somehow Kinlaw slips all the way down there. Like, we have an early 2nd round pick. It's basically a low end 1st round pick. So if we can get one of these guys that slips down into the 2nd round, that's who I want. And preferably a defensive tackle if we go with Simmons or Akuda in the 1st round.
Mr. Luke the Field G. Who you got?
I know he's not gonna fall, but I pray that he do. J.K. Dobbins. And if J.K. Dobbins don't fall, and I'm stuck there in that second round still looking, assuming that we took Isaiah Simmons, that second round, I'm probably going to go the way of the linebacker. I want to stick to defense at that point. But you know what? Scratch that. I'm gonna go with Jim. I even take Jonathan Taylor if he's there. I just want the running back that bad. Like I need somebody to stay on the field. Because now I'm at a point now where availability is your best trait. I can't do this. I'm hurt every year stuff.
Okay, folks. We've been on for nearly 2 hours, an hour and 40 some minutes there and change. And it is that time to do the final words and give our final thoughts. J-Mo, what do you got to say to the folks out there?
What's good, everybody? I know it's been a while since I've been on here. That's literally because my work schedule likes to schedule me on every Tuesday and Thursday, apparently, except for today. But that's the only reason I haven't been on. I still watched some of the shows. When Mike had went on his little Deion Lewis rant, I had my popcorn ready, and I knew he was gonna go in. I knew Mike was gonna go in when we were talking in the chat, and he was going off. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this. But on more of an Isaiah Simmons tip, the package would have to be sweet for me to move off of Isaiah Simmons. I'm not moving off Isaiah Simmons unless you give me something crazy. Other than that, I'm taking him at 3. And then I'm more a little bit concerned about free agency than the draft, believe it or not, because we do have some high picks. So I know we'll add some great young players to the team, but these free agents is what's going to put us over the top. And we have to make the right decisions. You get your Byron Jones, your Joe Thurney, the other guard y'all talking about trading for. If a defensive tackle, if we somehow could finesse one, I'm really concerned about free agency. I know we don't have nearly as much money as we did last year, but we got to bring some veterans in here that's going to help this team, be great. Like I said, the young talent will do well, but they still going to need some leaders going on. And if anyone mentions Tua to me again, like we're going to have to fight, I'll meet you in a certain place and we can handle the business. Just don't talk to me about getting no Tua. I'm sick of it. Now, you want to talk Trevor Lawrence, we can have a good conversation. But he ain't coming out this year. But it's your boy 313 J1. Make sure y'all check out my last video going over, what Darius Slay has been going through and Bob Quinn's interviews and the Danny Amendola sign and what I really thought about that, man. Make sure you check me out.
For sure. Real, what you got to say to the folks?
Man, I'm just happy that I could jump on, late in the show. It's great after a long day of work to just jump on and have a great conversation about the Lions. So thanks to everybody on the panel here talking, and thank you to everybody in the chat. If you're a real Detroit Lions fan, why don't you jump onto my channel and join the community? We have a good time over there, me and Andrew. So join us and we'll have some fun. And then I also just want to say, get those likes up. Get those likes up. We have a lot of people in the chat. Let's make those likes equal the amount of people in the chat. Thank you.
Awesome. For Jim from the Lions on the Prowl, what do you got to say to the folks?
I want to leave you guys with that. And first of all, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be on here with you guys. It's been a privilege and an honor to be with you guys.
Salute to you.
Thank you. I just want to talk one little bit about Isaiah Simmons one more time. He runs a 4.39, right? And the running back that we're talking about, Jonathan Taylor, also ran a 4.39.
That's crazy.
Just think about that for a minute. And the great Barry Sanders,
238 pounds.
And the great Barry Sanders ran a 4.37. Just let that sink in. All right, I'm out, guys.
That's a good way. That's a good way to end it there. Luke G, what do you got to say to the chat?
Hey, as always, man, it's been a pleasure. Again, I'm on father duties as I take pride in being a dad. But man, y'all show up and showed out as always, and we love it. We appreciate it. This community is constantly growing. Make sure you go and subscribe to my man Jim's channel, Lions on the Prowl. Make sure you check it out. I promise you, they be over there It is a smooth voice. I do agree with you on that. It's a real smooth voice. Very comforting. But Jim, appreciate you for coming on, man. Got to get you back on again, man, because you know your Lions football, and your voice is smooth, But this message that I like to end the show with comes from one Tupac Shakur. You got to keep your head up. Life is going to attack you and beat you down in ways that you never thought possible. It's going to test you every turn. Every time you blink, life is going to remind you that you cannot do it. The problem with life is life does not understand the resolve of you. Depression is not a thing if you do not allow depression to depress you. Some things cannot be beaten on your own. That's when you lean on your community. You lean on your family members, your brothers, your sisters. You remember that it's those moments that when you're not at your best, that somebody got your back. And you remind life that no matter what it tosses at you, how hard it throws it at you, it won't break you. It won't shake you. It won't let you down. It won't remind you of anything. You will stare it in the face and remind it that you are still here. Just keep your head up. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you subscribe to all the members of the DSA. Make sure you check out Lions on the Prowl with my man Jim. And remember, as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research.
Extremely humbling that you all came out. So awesome. Again, terrible year. You guys are still out there listening. We're getting excited because the new league year starts here real soon. Our draft prospects could be near when it comes to the Lions and see who the future is. Super excited. I truly appreciate it. Everyone that gave a super chat, you guys are awesome. I truly appreciate it. You have no idea. And it really shows the love when it comes to One Pride. We're all in this together, and it makes everyone happy when you're doing that. And I truly, truly appreciate that. Again, subscribe to Jim Bordeaux, the Lions on the Prowl. Subscribe to Real for real Detroit Lions fans. Luke G, of course, you're all subscribed to him. If not, that's crazy. If you ain't subscribed to JMO, what the hell, man? It's been a long time. We've been doing this for a while now. So make sure you do that. But I will leave you with the greatest words ever spoken. And it was not that God created Adam and Eve. It was not that I gave light. It was adios.